Being a Palantir investor these past 3 years has been a roller coaster ride to say the least. Now, I took a screenshot of my investment position when it was at its absolute lowest, and you can see that it was down over 62%. At that point, I had around 1,500 shares, and my cost basis was around $17.33. Now, I have been, over the last 3 years, just steadily dollar cost averaging into this company for reasons that I've laid out in a number of other videos. And as of right now, the time of this recording, the stock is trading around $14.14 per share. You can see all of my early buys are in the red, but all of the purchases that I made basically in 2022 and beyond are in the green, and many of them are up significantly. For example, when I was able to buy some shares of Palantir below the $7 range, those are up over 100%. And so currently the size of my investment in this company is at just over 2,000 shares with a cost basis of $14.81 per share. Now overall the position is down 4.5%, but that is a very far cry from the negative 62% that it was at just over a year ago. And in fact, just a couple of weeks ago, I was in the positive, up over 20%. So that means over the past few years, we've seen the stock price of this company decrease by 80% from 40 to 6, and then we've seen it go up 200% from there, from 6 to about 20, and then it's retraced a little bit now back down to 14. And every single time there is a major movement in the stock price, which admittedly with Palantir is quite often, I see people on Twitter and on YouTube losing their minds and either getting cold feet or hopping on the hype train. Now, in the short term, absolutely nobody can predict the direction that this stock price is going to take. Could be towards $5 or could be towards $50. But given the constant and intense scrutiny that this company in particular seems to receive, I think that all Palantir investors need to be asking themselves this question: am I an investor or am I a trader? The answer should make a huge difference in terms of how you think about the market volatility when it comes to your Palantir investment, but also in terms of how often you think about your Palantir investment or worry about it. Because unless you are actually legitimately a trader, which I think is unadvisable for the vast majority of people, you probably shouldn't be all that worried about the day-to-day movements in the price of a stock, and you probably shouldn't be reevaluating your investment decisions that often either. Even monthly or quarterly trends shouldn't really matter all that much unless there is a significant change in the fundamentals of the business. Thinking about and reevaluating an investment position on a daily, weekly, or even monthly basis, especially for people that are supposed to be investors, not traders, is in my opinion unhealthy and potentially also counterproductive, because studies have shown that people that try to time the market and miss out on some of the best days are going to have significantly lower returns than people that just buy and hold for the long term. Yet despite the fact that people seem to be aware of and acknowledge this fact, constantly I see people hyping up the stock and looking at every single detail, be it positive or negative, and getting all worked up or getting cold feet and trying to get out and back in at a lower price. And no offense to people that produce daily or weekly content about Palantir, and this is something that I've definitely been guilty of in the past, but honestly, I'm not sure it's all that productive unless there is new salient information that's coming to light. Palantir is a business which is operating in the real world, which is complex and has countless variables like the business cycle and like longer term macroeconomic changes. These are things that nobody can predict, and when it comes to investing long term, none of that should matter. What should matter is when you initially chose your investment, did you do your due diligence? Did you choose wisely? And did you pick a company that actually had solid fundamentals and that had good growth prospects for the future? In sum, does that company have a good chance of returning value to shareholders over the long term? And if the answer when you evaluated an investment decision and chose to allocate capital is yes, then great, set it and forget it. People that are actively in the market trying to buy and sell are either going to get cold feet at some point because they see something negative and then miss some big upside, or they're going to YOLO in, hop on the hype train, and get wrecked to the downside. And I actually think the middle curve meme kind of applies here. At the one end of the spectrum, you've got the degen who hodls and has faith the number is going to go up. And at the other end of the spectrum, you have the wise investor who knows to just buy good companies and hold forever. And in the middle, you have the classic overthinker, overanalyzer, trying to account for every variable and time the market, but who ends up getting wrecked anyways or just completely missing the run-up when it happens. Nobody wants to be the middle curve guy, so just do your due diligence and make up your mind, and if you decide to buy it, then just buy it and let it be. Or move on to another investment that you have higher conviction in. But this constant obsessing over news and new pieces of information that aren't actually that salient and that important is unhealthy, and unless the fundamental prospects of the business change, spoiler alert in the case of Palantir, I don't think that anything has changed over the past couple of years except the business cycle has experienced a little bit of a rocky road. But fundamentally, the company is strong, and everything that I believed when I first started to dollar cost average into this company still holds true today. So I am going to be trusting my decision and sticking to the time horizon that I had when I initially made this investment, which was approximately 10 years. And when it comes to Palantir content on YouTube, I will only be releasing videos if I have something new to add to the conversation, or if I believe there is something that has happened that fundamentally changes the prospects of the business one way or the other. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.